Countrywide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lamp.
Right now, waiting on the line because I can see him, is National President, Federated Farmers, Wayne Langford. Federated Farmers released their election manifesto. Wayne, g'day, mate. Welcome to the show. Nice to have you on. Thanks for your time.
Andy, good to be here. I hope you can hear me all the way. I'm up in Auckland today, of all places, so hopefully you can hear me well.
I can hear you very well. Yes, you're up in Auckland. I saw you in the big show yesterday, actually, talking to what you're on. You're on Agenda. On Q&A.
Q&A with Jack Tame.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that gets the old heart rate going a bit, I can tell you.
Yeah, I could tell, actually. I was watching it live and I thought, no, here's a man that's done a bit of prep. Hey, quickly before we get into this election manifesto, that news about Mark Cameron, sad news. He's been a great advocate in Parliament, hasn't he, for farmers?
He's been one of the hardest working guys I know, and a guy with one of the biggest vocabularies that I know as well for a Northland farmer. I never expected some of the words I hear coming out of his mouth, but man, that guy has been passionate, and he's really cracked on for the rural sector, which is a credit to him. Some people may not agree with some of his policies, but a lot of people will certainly appreciate the work that he's put in to get to where he's got to.
Certainly the passion that he put in for it, I think, Wayne, would be the way I would put that. And I agree with you. Not everyone agreed with what he had to say, but he didn't expect everyone to agree with him, right? He had a point of view and he put it out there. Unfortunately, his body hasn't been that well. We've all known that for quite some time. And he's made the very, very tough decision to step away. I just text him, actually. Hopefully, maybe get him on the show tomorrow or the next day. Maybe catch up with him at Field Days. I don't know. But it's a big road. 5 hours of dialysis a day, 3 times a week. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, as well as doing the role that he's been doing. He's, like I say, an absolute legend who's been batting well above his weight for the last couple of years. So well done to him, and a tough decision, no doubt, as he's got as far as he has within politics.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Hey, Wayne, we know that in the last election, Federated Farmers launched an election wish list, I think, possibly, or a manifesto. You launched 12, I suppose, policies you would like to see
to restoring farmer confidence.
Yeah. I think I would say you got 10 and a half of them. You might argue you got 11 and a half of them. It wasn't a bad hit list.
Yeah, no, it's certainly gone pretty well, and while some of them have still got some work to do, and some of the big ones, particularly RMA and the likes, what it did do is give a real clear indication around to the government around what agriculture is looking for, and ultimately, what they can start on if they're wanting to get to work on something. So we weren't going to come back with another checklist for them this time, but we did want to give them a fair bit of guidance around what the sector is looking for. And the good news is that it's quite a bit different to kind of taking out the slasher and slashing the red tape like we did last time. This is more about actually getting on board with the strategy, the government strategy to agriculture, and how we can improve it and help them get there.
Okay, so just on last time, you said restoring farmer confidence, and I think it's fair to say farmer confidence has been restored, but on that, just not that confident if you're an arable farmer. How much of that restoring farmer confidence is just about good commodity prices?
It certainly plays a part, and there's no doubt about it. I know it from being on the ground myself around that, what that looks like. But also, I don't know if you've noticed, and it'd be good for you to dig into some numbers, being the journalist that you are, Andy, that around the number of farm sales we've seen this year to first farm buyers. Like I've seen it popping up all across my social media feeds. The number of first farms, people going into their first farms this year is awesome. And when you compare that to where we were sitting 3 years ago, where a number of people were just wondering, what the heck are we doing here? Why are we doing this? And what's this all about? So that's been a real, positive or a real green shoot I see coming out of some of the work that we've been doing.
Okay. And that's an interesting one. I'm sure that'll be a good discussion I can have with Bailey's, and I think definitely we'll be able to find some of those numbers. So the 5-point plan you've asked for focuses on cutting the cost of farming, enabling technology and infrastructure, empowering community and conservation, supporting young farmers, and fixing local government. Cutting the cost of farming, you are asking for you want to, so what is that? You actually want to change, you want 10 new permitted activities, right? You don't want to have to worry about resource consents.
Yeah, that's a good start to the conversation there. So we know that the RMA's got plenty of work still to go on it, and we, that they'll do their best to get whatever they can across the line before the selection. But even still, there's going to be a lot more work to go on it afterwards. In the meantime, there are some activities that we are doing on farm that we are compliant, in the high 90s%, 98, 99% were compliant in a lot of these areas. And we're saying, hey, well, why are these consented activities if the compliance is that high? Let's just get on and make them a permitted activity, avoid the hassle of the red tape and the consenting process, and get on board with that. So I use the example of effluent management, for example. There's no reason why that can't be a permitted activity. Why drain maintenance, cleaning out your drains and stuff, that can be a permitted activity. Pretty simple things. They've still got to have a framework around them. They're still a rule. They're still a practice in which we've got to follow. There's no doubting that. But it's just saying, hey, in a lot of places around the country where you do need to get a consent for them, why? That's why we're asking the question.
Okay, I get that, but what about the laggards? We all know that there is a percentage of people in any society, in any community, in any sector, who just won't play by the rules. Are you not just transferring the responsibility for the environment onto the processes, onto their companies? If you're talking about those sort of rules, then how do you bring them into line?
We already have those laggards now, Andy. So under the current system that we're doing, they're still there. The system is not picking up on the laggards. The laggards are still there, and it's still happening. And if you look at, that's happening in farming, and we see that for some reason the journalists love to report on, when a farmer breaches his effluent rules.
Saw that. Yep.
But it's a few in 10,000. It's not a high percentage that are doing it. And to be fair, if you look at the likes of local government, we see far worse results with the likes of Wellington City Council, with the likes of Canterbury, and what's going on there with their smelly ponds at the moment and that sort of thing as well. So we are asking here to go to a more higher trusted model. I understand that, but I also think over the last 10 years, the investment that farming's put in and the work that we've put in, that we've earned the right to go back to a high trusted model, and we should.
Okay. One of the issues, and I know Jack brought it up yesterday, and I'm going to ask you the same question about sheep and beef farmers and needing farm plans. Why is Federated Farmers supporting that and making more regulation for sheep and beef farmers?
We're not suggesting to create more regulation. What we're saying is that there was under the last government in particular, there was significant regulation already being pushed onto farmers, and we're saying, hey, if that is going to come back, and the Labor Party have given strong indications that it would, if they were coming back into power, then what we're saying is a farmer-controlled, farmer-owned, and generated farm plan is far better than the regulatory approach that they're talking about here. And we're saying, hey, let's make it in a way that farmers can do it, that farmers are engaged with it, and ultimately is going to get the results, not a highly litigious certified type system that we're going through at the moment that costs farmers, or the farming sector, hundreds of millions of dollars a year.
So, I mean, yeah, okay, I do get that, but again, sheep and beef farmers have been able to manage it not too bad. Interesting. I just should have brought this up.
Sorry, Andy, I'll just jump in there because some sheep and beef farmers, but we've also got a high proportion of our sheep and beef farmers that are already supplying these so-called farm plans to their processors already. We've got a large number of sheep and beef farmers that are already under a consented activity and can go there. And then what we are also suggesting is that it is scalable to risk. And so yes, there will be some need to do a very basic farm plan, but if you're in a low risk catchment with low risk activity, the farm plan is very simple, and if you can do it yourself, it should be at no cost to your farm either.
Yeah, look, I don't think people are going to argue too much about it. It's an interesting position for Federated Farmers to take. Just on that, it's titled Federated Farmers Policy Priorities for the Next Government. Do you actually honestly think that a Labor government will take any notice of this? I mean, I think it's fair to say you can expect under a national-led coalition government that some of these things will already be in place. Is this just targeted towards the existing coalition, or do you actually think that a change of government, which at the moment is looking unlikely but not impossible, are you setting yourselves up to fail here?
Oh, no, definitely not. This is written in a way that it is a plan for any government to grab hold of and take off and adopt. I know with our last election platform, we worked across party with it all, and I'll give you a little insider here that when we talked about it with the Green Party, our last election platform, there was some. Certainly some significant alliance on a number of points. There was some that we significantly disagreed on as well, but yeah, there was some alignment there. This is something that they can pick up, and we've written it in a way that we think is backed up by data and that they can get amongst as well.
There's a lot here, and we're not going to have time to go through it all. But there's one point in here which I 100% agree with. And for me, it's probably, other than the farm plans and the permitted activities, reviewing the Share Milking Act, Wayne, this was last reviewed, I think. It's been reviewed, but it's actually an act from the mid-30s, effectively, right? How significant a change do you think we need?
Well, it depends. It depends how significant you think the change is. Like it literally is a minister or a new MP putting some real groundwork in to see what the issue here is and getting it dealt with. It's not a complicated change. It's protection that we want for our contract milkers that are involved in the space. We've seen a significant lift of those, as you know, over the last decade or so. And so how do we ensure that they're protected under the regulations as well? And so it's not quite as easy because, of course, we have other contractors in other fields, but we're here to represent the farmers. And so we're saying, well, for farmers, they can fall under the Share Milking Act, and we think it'll be a good idea for someone to grab hold of it and have a run with it.
I think so too. I'm not going to disagree with you on that one at all. Field days are coming up. You're in Auckland. You won't be heading home before field days, I wouldn't have thought.
No, I've got a bunch of Polish farmers that I'm talking to tomorrow. I've got an announcement to head to this afternoon, and Polish farmers tomorrow, and then field days Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, followed by the big game Friday night, Andy. I can't wait.
Have you managed to get yourself tickets to that on Friday night, have you?
I have. Yes, I'll be staying over. Yeah, there'll be one Crusaders fan there. Are you heading along?
No, my plane leaves about 5 o'clock on Friday night from Hamilton, to be honest. So I don't think I'll be, unless something changes at last minute. But at the moment, no, I'll be heading home. But great to see us, and I think we've all beat those heathen. I think we'll beat those heathen Chiefs. I think we'll be in that final again, mate. No issues there.
Home final at the new stadium down in Christchurch. I can't wait.
Absolutely. All right. Wayne Langford, National President, Federated Farmers. Thanks for your time. We'll be in touch.
Cheers. Thanks, Andy. Cheers, bye.
Countrywide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lapp.